much to say. I wasn't really, I was planning on speaking again too, but here we go. One of the things she brought up last meeting was they wanted something about bribery with blah, 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 whatever. Just wanted to remind people that, these accusations that she throws out, there's no saying going around that accusation is admission, because this is the same council person who, when she went to training, told us in public that she was surprised that city council members couldn't take bribes. So that tells you something about where her mindset is to be on this council. I also agree with the abhorrent treatment of staff and police, the way she talks to them in these text messages, that she feels like everything is for her benefit, and the rest of us can just suck it, I guess, because we're just lowly residents, according to her. I'll make sure you get me, okay? As far as the intimidation factor.
Like she's talking while she's taking video.
Alright, can you stop my time, please?
Mayor,
Are we actually gonna do
Yes,
something about this bitch or what?
Go.
Thank you, Tim.
She said name calling was okay, so let's have it happen.
Vice Mayor, you have a brief comment?
yeah, I think it's very disruptive. Person to my right is talking as if this is the dais where we have to meet and deliberate, and I believe that if she's gonna be acting as a member of the press, she should be out there. And, it's very
And
disruptive.
if that's the case, I can see a lot of complaint already, and this is under my rules as the chair of the meeting. I will once again check with you to see if we can do the motion to stop it.
Again, recording is allowed of the meeting.
Yes, but not on
But
the dais.
intimidation is not, Christian, and you know it.
She already said up here, she believes decorum is different for city council members than residents. Is that true?
Obviously, she can disrupt anytime.
I mean, she's clearly doing whatever the hell she wants.
Okay, I guess that we cannot solve the problem right now, so we need to
We're gonna solve that
go to the
one.
next meeting.
And that
So,
one.
all right, thank you. Go ahead, continue.
As far as her intimidation, it's really all she has. She's got nothing substantial. She clearly is too stupid to be in that seat. You heard from the text messages, the way she speaks, the way she writes is the way she speaks. She has someone coming who's being intimidating, who stared me down last meeting and was getting in my face. His wife had to physically turn him around to get him away from me after I told him to get the fuck out of my face twice. And please don't say anything about my language, because that is way more offensive than swear words. Those two, their behavior and their actions, their accusations, all of that shit is way more offensive to this city, I guarantee, than some swear words. So let's be real about that. And there she goes talking again. You are such a fucking.
You have the right to remove
Mayor,
her.
I just don't think this is right.
Yes.
But she could record according to, Mr. Benhausen, if she wants to report, I'm not gonna fight that, but when she's talking and reporting, and then she's next to me like that, it's very disruptive, and I can just imagine it's very disruptive, it's very disrespectful to.
Mayor, if I can hear her, let me say something.
Yeah.
Our goal here is for us to hear the residents speak. The vice mayor, she can't hear, I can hear her from here, so I can't concentrate on what the residents are speaking, what they're saying.
So that is,
This is creating some totally disruptive.
can I consider that as a disrupting the council here?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the issue of recording is one thing, the issue of speaking, that gets more to disruption of the meeting.
So she been doing that, she been talking about it. So if you consider you allow this is a disrupting according to Vice Mayor Hall and also Councilmember Menzel. I move to stop Councilmember West to recording. From the recording on the dais. If you want to record, there's no one to stop you. Hold on, please. My turn. It's my turn. If you want to record, hold on. The city attorney said that you have the right, and I agree that you have the right. but you can go there and then record it from there. You are not allowed to do it here because it's restricting the city council from doing the work. So at this point here, I move to have Councilmember West either stop recording at the dais or go down there to have recording down there.
Anyone lawsuit coming up to the city from my right?
So you wanna cost the city more money by the bogus lawsuit?
Is that what the mayor wants to do? Taking people.
Am I allowed to do that? Because,
Yeah.
Again, you can't prohibit the recording of the meeting. The issue of disrupting the meeting by
So
talking.
stop talking.
That's what I was talking
okay,
about.
what I'm doing right now, okay, let me go ahead and remove from, take back from their motion. But this time here, I ask you, if, according to the city attorney, you can record, but please refrain from speaking. Okay, if you continue, if you are
Not making a lot of
recording and speaking at the same time, then I have to move forward with the motion.
What is my right as a councilwoman? I last time whispered to you, Mr. City Attorney, before, that they think it's distraction,
I'm
right?
very
That's
clear.
my right
Are you okay
to
with
ask
that?
for advice.
You have the right to record, you don't have the right to disrupt the meeting.
You don't have the right to disrupt the meeting.
Well, there's an order to business, the chair is running the meeting, which he acknowledges people to speak, and if you speak out of turn, then that would be considered a disruption.
I didn't speak out of turn. I didn't speak out of turn at all.
So that's what it is, to answer your question.
Okay, at this time, I repeat it again, if you haven't heard it from me. I allow for you to go ahead and continue with the recording at the dais without speaking, because it's going to be disrupting the city council from doing their business.
City
And
Attorney,
if you continue to do that, then I have to move with a motion.
Yeah,
to
Christian,
have
that's
you-
my
City Attorney, what's my right? I'm recording and I'm not distracting anyone.
She just said you.
Because the thing is that they think I'm distracting, I'm not.
She's too done. She
Yes,
just.
I already stated my statement twice, I already said my statement
You
twice
cannot,
already.
you cannot.
So let's move on with that, and then we will continue with the meeting.
So Amy, shh, just like you wanna do to everyone in the audience, zip it. This is my next point, obstructing city business, theft of taxpayer money. How much money did that just cost us? Because she can't comprehend simple instructions and has to make it the Amy Clown show. That's all she's doing, he can't even bother to come back, and we do need to start talking now. When she wastes time like this, she needs to be docked too. I'm gonna speak on this probably later, but I already said she thinks decorum is different for council members and residents. Chris, I'm gonna bring up something you said last meeting when I asked about what's all the defamations that she just throws around up there. Your answer to me was defamation is different for council members. So I think you owe it to residents, that's what you said. Okay, just making sure you remember. I think you owe it to us to give us the explanation.
How much of your time was wasted by her?
Our next speaker is David Johnson, followed by Del Tran.
Mayor, if I can just quickly over here, hello,
Yes, please.
if I can just quickly make a note. I know there's been, lately, just everyone asking our city clerk to pause the clock. I just wanna remind everyone, audience and council, that the city clerk takes direction from you as chair. So for continuity and consistency, we just wanna make sure that she stops the clock on when you ask for it, not everybody else.
That's right.
So that, just to clarify that. Thank you.
very much.
Mary, I'm sorry, before you go, if I could explain very quickly the different standards.
Please.
Yeah, in this case law, this is a New York Times case, which basically says that if you're a public figure, which, what is a public figure? An elected official would be a public figure. Other people that put themselves out in the public eye, those people are public figures. If you're a public figure, then the standard in order to prove defamation against that person is higher. You have to show that it was false, that you knew it was false, and that there's a maliciousness to the information. That's why you see a lot of negative information put out there by these public figures on media. It's a different standard for the audience, meaning defamation can be more easily proven to a member of the audience, let's say, somebody who's not a public figure, if you say something negative about them, you can more easily prove a defamation case against, in that situation, than you could if the person you're talking about is a public figure. So I think it's the reverse of what you think. It's harder, it's easier for you to say negative things about public officials, is the point.
Okay, got
That's all, that was the answer.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next speaker.
David Johnson.
My name is David Johnson, a resident in Area 1 of the city. So thank you for this opportunity. Whichever idea was to have a Westminster Community Foundation, that was a good idea. Many cities have them. And it makes a lot of sense to find other ways to fund wonderful things that happen in our city. I'm going to miss the mayor.
Sorry, Mark.
So, what I want to emphasize though is it has to be done effectively and legally. And effectively is an issue if 16 of the members have turned over of the 11-person board in approximately 1 year, then obviously something is wrong, right? And a logical leader would want to determine the root cause of something wrong before they just throw more resources at it, right? So I recommend you identify the root cause or why there's so much turnover. I would suggest it has something to do with the dysfunctional culture of that group based on its leadership. Most people don't leave their organization, they leave their supervisor, they leave their leader. So I would appreciate if you looked at, I know that at least one city council person and the presidents of that organization have said that they're ready for you to appoint more people right now and build it up. Well, wait a second, isn't that just doing the same thing over and over again? Isn't that being in denial? Shouldn't we fix it first? On the legal side, it is appropriate that you could all have appointed the first 11 because it wasn't a nonprofit at that time. But there's a point in time when it became a nonprofit. And it was submitted to the United States government in California as a legal entity of a nonprofit corporation. A government agency cannot control a nonprofit corporation and vice versa. And when you continue to reappoint people, and the only people that can reappoint to that are city council persons, you're in essence controlling that nonprofit, and they are not a nonprofit. Those who give through that nonprofit thinking that their money was nonprofit can then provide a legal case against you and that because they are you. They're no different from a commission right now because you're just appointing them on, and if you look at chapter 2 of their bylaws, you can do that every 2 years as terms. You are controlling the entire decision-making board. So I gave this exact scenario to the attorney at the school district where I happen to be a trustee, although I do not speak on your behalf. And he came back and said, yes, under that exact scenario, we as a school district, he's advising we would never do that. You cannot have your board control the nonprofit corporation. And all of that information was provided to you. It was in the notes for the study session that the city council person had and did not attend. So you could find it there. The legal advice from that attorney. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dao Tran, followed by Kai Dao.
Good evening. The reason I'm here because someone who is a candidate for council member for District 3 spread out the news that they will have a press conference at 4 o'clock today about the kind of mirror in front of the mayor's office. And I'm here to tell, first I already heard that the police already arrested him. So I give big hand for the police for doing that. First of all, how he said that the mirror is to scare the evil. How can he can explain something about like that? And I know that he tried up to pull down the mirror. That is very wrong. That is federalization. So that person is a candidate for the council member. So I ask the audience here, should we vote for that person? Get him out here. Before he come in here, he already have the idea to come to rule this city. And now about council member Nam Quang Nguyen. He's a council member and he's also a YouTuber. He has his own channel and he used his channel to spread out the fake news. The fake news about the mayor, about the vice mayor, about all the council members. So they don't deserve to sit here. Also, Amy Phan West, she argued with her residents. So that is it. I want to tell the audience here, just give Menzo to his seat for the meeting and for the district 3. Find someone, not the guy who come to vandalize the city today. Thank you for listening.
Our last speaker is Kaidal.
All right, good evening, everyone. Mr. City Attorney, Mayor. Well, I didn't know I would be able to speak before midnight. So congratulations, you did the right thing. And Mr. City Attorney, I'm glad that you finally put your pitch down and actually explain the law to them and tell them to do the right thing instead of, letting give in to their demands and trying to turn this city into kind of their own kingdom, I guess. Well, according to the recent comments from their cronies, it seems like they're trying to duke it out to see which one of them, which team of them is gonna hold the majority of the city council after the election. Well, I guess in the mainstream we said we should vote for the lesser of the two evil, right? But in my culture, I would say that you both are dogs, so it doesn't make any difference to me. Well, worse comes to show, I'd hate to see that, the 5 members of the city council is all Vietnamese American. Even though I am Vietnamese American, that would be a shame. I wouldn't know how to deal with. So, Mr. Menzo, I wish you the best of luck. I hope, if you get elected, you would do the right thing and at least somehow to maintain the city, a council that can serve the city and serve the people. And the reason I said that some of them actually exposed themselves and revealing that they intend to fire the city manager and install their crony, their boss, how they did to replace her. Didn't work out right because of Vice Mayor Pickering home. But I guess, like I said, after November 5th, either they can install Tyler Dick or Mr. Nguyen is gonna probably put his wife to replace Mrs. Gordon here. Like somebody already exposed that the Midway Cemetery, you guys ran it, And between you brother-in-laws, that get all kind of meetings and sharing the profit, and you intend to do the same to the city council, and that's just a shame. And worst come to show, if you guys get elected, I will continue with the recall proceed. We'll recall and run. So please, I call for your support. Thank you.
And Mayor, we do have one more speaker, Terry Raines.
Good evening, Terry Raines, Westminster. I had prepared to speak at the end on this. I don't have any prepared comments tonight at all because I was out of town on a family emergency and just got back, and I'm kind of discombobulated over that. But what I'm more upset over is that press conference outside of the mayor's office and witnessing vandalism take place by a candidate and then confronting that candidate, and Councilmember Wynn was accomplice to that crime because he was standing right there while it was happening, probably encouraging him, it looked like from a distance. We've got to get control of these two. And I'm glad you're enjoying filming me, because filming me from the dais, talking about me from the dais, calling me out by name by the dais, filing false police reports against residents when they're sitting in their car eating dinner and alleging that they're stalking you. You know, she's always the victim, but she is actually the instigator of all of the chaos, along with Mr. Nam Kwan. He was gone, he was here for 3 hours, he was here 21 minutes of 3 hours of last meeting. That's as far as I clocked it. We do need to start docking their pay. And in the police report, Councilwoman West said that she's filed multiple reports in the past where she felt her statements were inaccurately written after WPD officers obtained her statement. Fan requested that this report be investigated by the sheriffs because it was a conflict of interest that the WPD was investigating it. She stated that as a council member, she was their boss, the police. That is categorically false. Christine Gordon, the city manager, is the boss of the chief of police, and the rest of the officers report to the chief of police. There are so many false statements in this police report. We have got to get a handle. You can't allow these council members. Nam Kwan should have been here. She should have been here for the study session. They're the ones that called the study session. I'm going to speak on the foundation, but I'll do it under agenda comments because I had a preparation, prepared. That's the only comments I did prepare. But we've got to get a handle on this. She's talking about her rights. The First Amendment was established so that the residents, the private citizens, could address their government and with grievances, and be free to do so without intimidation or fear. And yes, Christian, I'm looking at you when I say that. The First Amendment clause was an establishment clause for our rights. Your government, their government, we have higher rights for freedom of speech in this forum than they do, in my opinion. So I don't have much prepared. I did go to an event for District 1 on Saturday night, and Amy West showed up uninvited on private property and got upset when they asked her to leave. She didn't want to leave. It was a private property event for District 1 residents, and she came and created chaos like she does so well. So please, Christian and Mayor, you've got to figure this out and get a handle on these council members.
I understand people trying to tell me to take control of the meeting in terms of what we just heard, that the items was brought up, brought forward and agendized by the council members, and they were not here to present the item that they proposed. What can I do, or what can we do in this case, because I don't want to have this happen again. I show up, and also the residents show up at 4 o'clock for the study session. And I know I have have other things to do, and the same as they are. I don't want to waste my time. And so, and the council times. So what can we do in this case? Is there any recommendation? Without into the discussion, I just want a brief comment from you.
There's very little you can do there. The council has already done quite a bit to try and minimize how items are added to the agenda, but once they're added and we've agreed upon a special meeting, there has to be a quorum there to hold it. And if people don't show up, you know, it's hard to tell ahead of time whether or not we could remind them. But we can't, you know, force them to show up for a meeting.
Dock their pay.
All right, so, now you got the answer directly from their city attorney, not from me. So hopefully that you understand where I'm coming from. Next is, I'd like to open up I'd like to close up their, oral communication for the non-agendized item. So at this time, I would like to open up for the oral communications concerning the agenda, items only. So same thing again, would you please go ahead and read the instruction into the record, please?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the city council regarding any items on the agenda, except public hearing items. Members of the